Okay, I'll go ahead and get started since it is 4:30. Welcome, everyone. I'm Lindsay Kemp. I am the program coordinator for Earth Advantage. A few housekeeping items before we get started. Since this is a webinar, your mic and your video will be turned off, but if you have a question that comes up, we just ask that you please place it in the Q&A feature on your Zoom menu, and one of us will try to answer the question during time for Q&A. So this session will conclude at 5 p.m. So that's just in 30 minutes. It's a quick webinar. We may go over time to address questions, however, so please stay on if you like. After the webinar, you will receive a follow-up email with the webinar recording within the next 1 week. So thanks everyone for being here, and I will go ahead and hand it over.
Thank you, Lindsay, and thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Peter Brandom. I'm a senior program manager with the City of Hillsborough. I work in the city manager's office, and one of my most recent prime responsibilities is overseeing our new home energy score policy and program. And I would first like to thank our partners who have helped us put this short program together today. First of all, Ryan McKenzie and the Oregon Homebuilders Association. Couldn't have done it without you. McKenzie, Winchell, and the rest of your colleagues at Earth Advantage for so much. And Don McOdrum with Energy Trust of Oregon. All of you have been instrumental, including Lindsay, of course. Ryan, I just wanted to offer you an opportunity to say a few words if you'd like.
Oh, well, thank you, Peter. And one correction, I appreciate being elevated to the state level, but actually I'm with the Homebuilders of Metropolitan Portland. So we're just your local HVA. Glad to be here, glad to be working with the City of Hillsborough and our other partners along for this call and this webinar. Recognizing the Energy Score program went in as a requirement earlier last year, actually. It's a new year. We just want to make sure that our members or any builders have the opportunity to hear from all of you on this about Energy Score and how to what they need to do to comply with that, as well as some of the advantages or possibilities for that Energy Score in their marketing materials. So we're glad to be part of it. We enjoy doing these partnerships. And it does give an opportunity for us to educate our members on some of the things that they're going to need to do, at least when they're working in Hillsborough. And really appreciate you reaching out to us to help put this together.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you for correcting me on your position in the organization. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and venture into screen sharing here. Let's just take me a moment so that we can. One more switch here. Okay, that should be what I wanted. So I'm going to start with just a bit of background about this policy and how it came about in Hillsborough. And then we'll hear from McKenzie and Don on some technical aspects, specifically as it relates to new construction, because that's what we would like to focus on today. And then we'll have a little time toward the end for some Q&A, which Lindsay will facilitate through Zoom. So with that, the program requirements, basically, as was noted by Ryan, our new policy went into effect September 1st last fall. It requires home sellers to obtain and disclose a home energy score and report before listing a home for sale. The score and a link to the full report must be included in all public sales listings. And so that includes lots of different places, and for those of you who are home builders, your websites as well. So really it's for anyone looking to purchase homes to be able to access the information that is provided in the score and report. And so copies of the report must be made available to prospective buyers, either when they visit the home or when they're viewing design plans during construction or pre-construction phase. Consequence for non-compliance, $500 penalty per violation, which is consistent with our municipal code. For each subsequent violation, there could be additional penalties of up to $500 per occurrence every 90 days. A written notice of violation will be issued to the person responsible for it, describing it and steps required to come into compliance. And it will provide, the notice will provide 15 days to reach compliance before a citation is issued. So little just details about the program itself. It's required for all homes, including townhomes, condos, duplexes, regardless of the construction phase. Stacked units are currently exempt due to the methodology used for the scoring and the technical reasons for how that's done. A unique score and report can be produced for new houses constructed in the same geographic area with identical design documents and features, using data points from a single assessment. So if homes are essentially the same in the same area, we heard clearly from the home builders that it would be very helpful if we allowed, and we recommended that to our council, and they agreed. That makes a lot of sense. So that's an important piece when it comes to new construction for those of you who are building, multiple homes at a given site. Data from homes built to the Energy Trust of Oregon Energy Performance Score, or EPS standards, can be converted relatively easily into a home energy score and report. And you'll hear more about that here in a moment. The score is valid for 8 years. It's available on the Green Building Registry. So at any point you can just log in to greenbuildingregistry.com and you can look at any area really across the US where these policies exist. And that is the registry for seeing where homes have been scored. And of course, since our council put the policy in place, we've seen a very consistent uptick in the number of homes in Hillsborough that have scores. A lot of existing homes, but of course in Hillsborough these days, a whole lot of newly built homes too, which is great. A lot more transparency in the transaction. And the code also allows exemptions for certain hardship and certain types of transactions. One example is a quit claim deed, but there is a list of possible exceptions in the code. So the steps to obtain and disclose a score and report: simply reaching out to an authorized home energy score assessor to schedule an assessment. And at our website, among others, hillsborough-oregon.gov/energy score, there are links to a lot of resources, including the list of authorized assessors. Then the report is shared with real estate brokers working on your behalf. And you just need to ask them to attach the report in the MLS. And sometimes that little step is missed. So understandably, folks feel like, hey, I got, I had the assessment done, I have the score and report, but you're sending me a letter here. Well, sometimes it misses that transaction into the MLS. So just need to make sure and follow through with that piece. And then, of course, share copies of the report with any potential home buyers when they visit the home. And scheduling and conducting the assessments is relatively straightforward, usually scheduled within a week and take maybe a couple of hours at the most to actually complete on site. And then the reports are produced within a few days. So I believe at this point, I'm going to hand it over to McKenzie.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, so hello, everybody. My name is McKenzie Winchell, and I'm the Home Energy Score Manager at Earth Advantage. And what that just means is Earth Advantage supports cities like Hillsborough in program implementation. So we train all the assessors that produce home energy scores and provide ongoing training and technical support to them for quality assurance. We also own and operate the Green Building Registry, which Peter was alluding to. And that is where home energy scores and reports for Hillsborough get stored so that realtors and builders can access them and include them in information into public advertisements for sale, thereby meeting the city's policy requirements, which allow prospective buyers to access the home energy score and compare it between homes that they are interested in purchasing. So I'm going to quickly clarify 2 pathways you as a builder can take in order to get your homes a home energy score, and clarify the additional steps needed to include it in your home's advertisements for sale and therefore comply with the City of Hillsborough requirements. It's important to note that these requirements apply in the City of Portland jurisdiction as well as the City of Milwaukee. The first pathway to get a home energy score can be done before construction is complete. This is what we call the pre-construction home energy score. And this pathway listed on the slide is what you should take if you are advertising the home for sale prior to a home's construction being completed. You must hire an authorized home energy score assessor to complete the work. And the home energy score will be based on floor plans along with some additional specifications. So be sure when you're taking these steps to have a conversation with your home energy score assessor, and they will clarify what exact information they need from you to produce the home energy score. It will involve a little bit of involvement beyond just getting the floor plans. Assessors that have completed Earth Advantage's training to produce the home energy score based on floor plans are indicated on the list that Peter's website has. They're indicated with an asterisk on the official authorized assessor list. And then if we share slides afterwards too, the list is going to be linked on this slide. If you are building homes that have the exact same floor plan in the same geographic area, such as a subdivision, and you are advertising them for sale prior to construction being completed, the home energy score assessor will be able to leverage the first score they produce in the subdivision by essentially copying and pasting most of the house's characteristics to produce the remaining home energy scores. This often reduces the time it takes to create all the other similar scores. So you should find out if this will impact the price you pay your assessor you hired for this service. So moving on to the next path. The second pathway is getting a home scored after construction is complete. This is the pathway to take if you're advertising the home for sale after a home's construction is finished. You must hire an authorized home energy score assessor to complete this work. And the home energy score will be based on an on-site assessment of the home, which takes on average about 45 minutes to an hour. The assessor will then take this data and enter it into an energy modeling tool and produce the home energy score and report. This additional modeling step can usually take on average 15 to 30 minutes. Next slide. So what if you are building a home that's also getting an energy performance score, also known as an EPS for new construction? And this isn't one of the energy trust programs out there for efficient homes. All the scores, all homes, regardless of whether or not they're receiving EPS, must get a home energy score. So in this case, yes, they do. A home energy score is required. A home energy score is, the reason this is because it's the official home energy rating under the city's policy requirements and allows prospective buyers to easily compare a home energy score between other homes they're looking at. Given that, check in with your EPS verifier, because some verifiers are cross-trained to provide a home energy score that can produce both the EPS and the HES. And they can do this through a software integration process provided through the Energy Trust of Oregon, essentially through one set of data entry. This can create time efficiencies both in the creation of a home energy score, but also in managing one subcontractor to provide you both scores. If the EPS verifier is not trained to produce the home energy score, then I would suggest asking them if they could complete that training and they can contact Earth Advantage to do that. Or if they decide that it's not a service that they want to provide, then definitely go to the list of the authorized home energy score assessors and then call a few of them to get pricing to get the home energy score separately from your EPS. Energy Trust will be up next in this presentation to discuss the difference between EPS and HES ratings and how EPS homes can score on the 1 to 10 scale. Next slide. So before I hand that off to Energy Trust, I did want to clarify the final steps. So if you got a home energy score and report, are you done? Not quite. So now that the report and the home energy score are in the Green Building Registry, you need to have somebody actually add them to the public advertisements for sale. This includes the RMLS listing, and this is the process I'm going to discuss in this slide. So to meet the requirements, your listing agent needs to get a home energy score numeric result, so the 1 to 10 result, and a URL linked to the report in the home's RMLS listing. Once the home energy score assessor completes the report, it's stored in the green building registry, and then the report can be publicly accessible and listing agents can pull it into the RMLS listing. In this process, the listing agent has to click a button in RMLS in that listing of the home's address, and this pulls automatically the required score numeric value and report information into the listing, into the public remarks section of that listing. There is also a manual process for this, but we strongly advise using this automated process for accuracy. Once the numeric home energy score value and link to the report are in the public remarks section, the home is now meeting the home energy score city policy requirements. The information will then be viewable also in Zillow and Redfin, etc. And a prospective buyer can now compare that home to other homes they're considering in the market. With that, I will hand it over to Don.
Terrific. Thanks so much, McKenzie. So I'm going to turn off my camera here. I just wanted to say hello. But I've got some information here, as McKenzie said, to try to provide some contrast between what the EPS New Construction score incentives are and the home energy score. So, as I said, I'm Don McCodrum. I'm a representative of Energy Trust of Oregon's EPS New Construction program. Energy Trust is an independent nonprofit organization dedicated to serving all 1.8 million customers of PGE, Pacific Power, Northwest Natural Gas, Cascade Natural Gas, and Avista, as well as Northwest Natural customers in Southwest Washington. Through our EPS offering, we encourage and support builders to construct homes that are more energy efficient than code by working with trade allies all the way through the construction process. Efficient homes, as you know, are more comfortable, have better indoor air quality, have lower utility bills, and are more valuable. So part of my role here today is to share some aspects of the EPS offering that distinguishes it from home energy score. They include the EPS tool is exclusively for new single family homes that help validate the energy efficiency savings. Participating in EPS provides access to cash incentives to build above code, as well as access to free technical assistance and training. And the average EPS home is over 20% more efficient than code, just as a point of reference. Low scores are best when it comes to EPS. So here on this one, you can see a 50. So on that green scale, the wedge goes from left to right. And so as you get smaller and smaller, that means the home will be projected to consume less energy. All of that said, I feel like many of you know this already because most new homes in Hillsborough participate in EPS. All right, that's it. That's for EPS. Now let's just contrast that with home energy score. So in contrast to EPS, both new and existing homes can get a home energy score, as you've heard, as you know. Additionally, there are no cash incentives for obtaining a home energy score, though there are penalties for not obtaining one for all homes listed for sale in the Hillsborough, Milwaukee, and Portland area. And while an EPS is used to compare a new home against a similar code built home for the sake of calculating a builder's incentives for building above code, obtaining a home energy score allows its efficiency to be compared to all other homes with a home energy score. And then lastly, for a home energy score, 10 is the best score a home can get, but most homes do not get a 10. In fact, most code homes, even code homes, don't get a 10. Which leads me to my last slide. New, highly efficient EPS homes can get an HES of 10 or a home energy score of 10 when they incorporate energy savings features in their design, such as air sealing, high efficiency equipment, and tightly sealed ductwork. So please do contact us, contact me to get started. Differentiate your company in the marketplace, take advantage of technical trainings and support, receive financial incentives. And to get started, as I said, please direct your questions to me, and my email is there. And we have a slide at the end here as well with everyone's contact information. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Don, and thank you, McKenzie. for all that information. I'm going to leave this slide up for a moment so that we can allow folks to note our contact information. And with that, I think Lindsay and McKenzie, we can probably get to the questions now. There are a couple of them that have been posted. So I'll just go ahead and start in on these. So how is it possible to do an HES after the home is completed when an HES is required to submit a permit to the city? So really the trigger in our code has to do with when the home is listed publicly for sale. So, you know, if it is listed for sale during pre-construction, then the home energy score is required. If it's during construction, the same. If it's after construction, after occupancy is received, then that's when it's required. So that is the trigger. I don't know if anyone has anything more to add there. Okay. The next one, what happens if you list the home before construction completion with a pathway 1 score, but the house doesn't sell before completion? Do you have to update the listing with a pathway 2 score after you receive the C of O, certificate of occupancy? In other words, are there circumstances where you may need to obtain both a pathway 1 and pathway 2 score? Maybe Don or McKenzie?
Yeah, I can address this or try to, and then Nikki, let me know if you have any follow-up. So it sounds like you're getting a home energy score because the home is being listed before the construction's done. So that's great. You get the score at that time prior to construction being complete. You get the pre-construction pathway 1 score. The home, getting the score, you don't have to get a score again if it doesn't sell until after construction is complete. Once you get that first score, another assessment to get a future score isn't required for 8 years, as long as the home hasn't undergone any type of retrofit that would deem its energy efficiency to have changed. So I guess short answer is no, you don't have to get another score.
Thank you, McKenzie. And the follow-up on the prior question, we were just required to have a score for a home not listed. I would ask that you reach out to us about that one. That I'm not sure how that would happen, since we base compliance on publicly listed homes. So I'm not sure how that happened, and certainly not suggesting that it couldn't somehow, but I'm not sure how that would. So if you would just reach out to us and we can explore that one. Scratching on the door. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. And just maybe. Lindsay, let me know if you see any come in.
Sounds good. Not seeing any new questions, but I'll keep it open for another minute or two.
Okay.
Well, Peter, actually, if I could ask a question or maybe make a
Sure.
statement, can we confirm that permitting is not erroneously requiring this under a misunderstanding that they think they have to have this to offer a building permit? It would not be the first time building permit applications have had things attached to them that are due to a code issue, but that's not directly tied to the building permit. So that might be, I could envision that happening by oversight or something. So
Yeah.
I will gladly work with you on that to make sure we have some resolution, figure out what's going on there.
Absolutely, and it is a new policy, and we are a decentralized organization. I think if not all, most local governments are. Sorry about this noise if you can hear it. He's a very persistent old cat. But I actually appreciate the question, because we would like to support anyone who is encountering things that don't seem consistent with what we're trying to do, or maybe inconsistent with process as it's been established. So please let us know how we can look into that and figure out if something happened, what it was, and if we need some internal conversations and education, we definitely want to do that.
Looks like we have one more question that came in. It says, is this for Multnomah and Washington counties? And is this for builders only?
So we are somewhat focused today on the city of Hillsborough. So this is just what we're talking about today is for transactions within the boundary of the city of Hillsborough. We know that City of Portland has had the policy on the books for a few years now. City of Milwaukee started in late 2020, so also within the City of Milwaukee boundaries. Unincorporated Washington County does not, and I'll just leave it there. Those are the jurisdictions that I'm aware of.
I would add, McKenzie here, that it is possible, of course, if you want to get a home energy score, to do that anywhere in the state outside of those jurisdictions on a voluntary basis. The score would be created using the same energy model, and the report will look very similar and have the same features on it for consistency. So just making sure you're aware of that option.
Okay.
All right, great. Well, just a few minutes left. I think it seems like we dialed in the timing pretty well. Thank you so much for the questions, and especially for the time this afternoon, late in the day, to join us for this. I think the thing we want to stress from the city of Hillsborough's perspective is we want to support you in all that you do. You're building amazing structures in our community, and we want to support you to keep doing that. And we also want to support our city council in making those structures as efficient as possible from an energy standpoint. So thank you so much for that. So Lindsay, I think with that, we can probably go ahead and sign off.
Sounds great. Thanks, everyone. Just so you're aware, if you logged in late, you will receive an email with a follow-up about the webinar and the recording of the webinar within the next 1 week. So be on the lookout for that one, and thanks for joining us. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy your week.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.